adventure. This one's going to be a little bit shorter than normal. And to be quite honest, this has probably been the least planned and the most atrocious planning session we've ever had for any of the trips we've ever taken. But we finally got a destination, and it looks like we're going to have some decent weather. It's going to be a good trip regardless of all the snags in the planning phase. So our destination for the day and for the next couple of days is going to be Grand Island, and that's off the coast of Munising in the Upper Peninsula in the middle of Lake Superior there. So that's it for now. I'll check in a little bit later.
I could have told you the minute he said to do it. So.
Alright, we have finally made it here to the Grand Island Transportation Company, and we're due to get the boat over to the island in about 10 minutes. And so we stopped at Subway in town there. We're going to grab a bite to eat real quick here at one of the picnic tables. But I just thought I'd show you what we've got going here. So this is Grand Island, and we're going to be dropped off right here with the ferry that takes us over, and we're going to hike our first night up to here, which is Hemlock Campground. There's a nice beach over this area. I've been here before. We're going to probably spend some time at the beach there, and then because we made reservations so late, we're not going to be able to stop anywhere on Tuesday until we hike all the way up, come around here, and then all the way back down to here at Duck Lake, which is probably going to be about roughly 14-mile day. And then we're going to stay overnight here at Duck Lake, and then the following day we're going to hike down to here back to the boat launch, and then get the boat back over here to the mainland. So the distance from here to the boat dock where we are right now is just about half a mile. Grand Island sits only about half a mile off the coast here of the mainland and the UP, and that is it right over there. So I'm going to shut this off right now so we can get a bite to eat real quick, and then we will be on the boat shortly. Yeah, this will be perfect. This is a lot better than 90 degrees. Alright, so we have officially arrived on the island, and we're getting ready to leave. And when we got off the ferry over there at the dock, we were greeted by a bunch of people on mountain bikes and standing around talking that said, "Good luck with the bugs, they were terrible." So I guess we'll find out. I haven't had anything yet. Ken said he's already had a couple mosquitoes hit him, so. And we're right here, we're not in the backcountry, so I guess we'll find out. But alright, so it is about 1:15, and we've been on the trail for officially about 5 minutes or so. And I guess the people we saw at the boat dock weren't lying. The bugs are like crazy already. We've already doused up with bug spray because we're getting swarmed by mosquitoes, but now we got the bug spray on. Doesn't seem to be too bad. So this is the trail, the West Rim Trail, as it looks right now, just starting off. Just a small 2-track. But from being here before, I know that further up there, it's going to open up. We're actually going to be at one of the first beaches. It's called Merchandise Beach. It's got a nice view from the, like, what I would call the southwest corner of the island. Patreon subscribers then to help offset all the Alright, believe it or not, I think we're already approaching Merchandise Beach. You can see out in the distance there's some water. Merchandise Beach. Oh yeah, not much here. So I think last time we were here, the water level was much lower, because it looks like this is probably the only area down to Merchandise Beach, and as you can tell, there's water like real close here. And before we were actually able to walk quite a ways out and actually look back here on the island, and we can't do that today. So that's Merchandise Beach. Yeah, that water level was definitely much lower when we were here last.
The shiny rocks are down there.
Yep. Alright. Here, this is just one of probably many we're going to pass like this, locations like this, where, especially on this west rim trail that we're on right now, it just kind of, trees give way and it opens up and you get to see all the water out there. The rest of the shoreline further up. And there's a nice breeze blowing right now. I don't know what the temperature is, but what do you say? It was 70, 72. It's pleasant, but there's a nice breeze blowing as long as we're not in the trees, so it's kind of comfortable. I probably shouldn't say it, but fortunately the bugs aren't bad right now. I don't know if it's the breeze or the liberal amount of bug spray we put on, but right now they're not too bad. Milepost number 2, and I think our campsite is like just shy of 4, so we're already halfway there for the day. I forgot, we just had a Jeep pass us here. There are very few houses and permanent residents here on the island and very few vehicles, but there are vehicles, and there goes one right there. Actually, between last time and this time today, we've never seen a vehicle here, but I guess there's a first for everything. Reservations are required. Alright, so we have arrived at the Hemlock campsite, and right through there is the main trail. We hiked the West Rim Trail, and then this over here is the trail into the campsite. Over here, Ken's got his hammock set up. I got mine set up right over there. We got our packs hung up over here, and then back this way there's a fire ring, a couple benches for food prep, and then back around the corner this way is a bear pole and the bear box. So nice spacious site we got here. Plenty of trees around here, and we're not far from the main trail and a short little hike from getting down to the water. Okay, just a real quick layout here. Probably hard to see because I can barely see it, but my hammock is right back there. Ken's is over there. The trail back to here comes right through here, and then over here, fire ring, couple benches, and we got our friendly reminders that we're sharing the island with bears. Alright, so we just took the short walk from our campsite down here to the beach, and we were thinking about going swimming, but Ken's in the water right now and he said it's pretty cold, so I don't know if I'm going to be going out in there or not. But as you can tell, this is a pretty nice beach down here. What's that? Oh, now Ken's saying once you're in for a little bit, it's not so bad. So we'll see. Maybe I'll brave it and try and take a dip in Lake Superior. gets cold. I wish I knew what the temperature was out here.
Yeah, whatever Lake Superior is, it's warmer here than Lake Superior.
What do you guess? 57? 56?
I bet in the 50s.
Well,
no 50s.
we can say we've done it again. So it's about 6:50 right now. We just got back from the beach a short time ago, maybe 15-20 minutes ago. We're just kind of hanging out right now, relaxing our hammocks, and we're going to start dinner here in a little bit. And just thought I'd let you know, if you ever plan on coming here to Grand Island, one thing make sure you do is make a reservation for the campsites that you're interested in. Last time we were here, that wasn't something that we had to do, and it just so happens by accident that I saw that we need to make reservations for this trip. And this is July 8th right now. I made the reservations on July 4th and had almost nothing left available for us. So if this is a place you want to come and visit, it's a nice place, but do make sure that you make reservations in advance, especially for some of the ones that are closer to the water, because those appear to be popular ones and they fill up. Alright, this is our backcountry kitchen, or at least mine. Ken's is over there.
I'm going to put extra water in.
So I think for tonight, I'm going to try these roasted garlic and Parmesan baby red skin potatoes. And then this right here is some dehydrated chicken. So, never tried either one of those before. Chicken is courtesy from Ken. So I'm going to try that out. He's tried it before. He says it's really good. So, fire up the stove and get everything cooking here. So it's about 8:30 right now. We just finished dinner, cleaned up, and just made the walk back down here to the beach. And we've actually got this whole place to ourselves. There's no one around. And we brought our bags. We're going to fill them up so we've got water we can take back to camp. Our bottles are filled already, but we'll have water to filter in the morning after breakfast and clean up. It's a little bit of haze out there right now, but hopefully it'll still make for a nice sunset tonight. We'll see. Good morning, everyone. It's the morning of day 2 here on Grand Island, and it's about 6:45 right now. I've probably been up for almost an hour now. Just got my breakfast going, did a little photography out there, and Ken's still sleeping, so I figure I'd come over here to the cooking area, start my breakfast, and get things going for the day. It's fairly nice overnight. I don't know what the temperature got down to, but it was fairly cool, but not uncomfortable. Once it finally cooled down and got dark, the mosquitoes actually went away, which was kind of a nice thing. But first thing this morning, they were kind of buzzing in my ear again, so got up, put a little bit of bug spray on, and they seem to be okay now. Not really bothering me too much back here. So yeah, right now just gonna, like I said, eat breakfast and get things going. And then when Ken gets up, we'll get our day going and head on out. It was a really nice first day. Today's going to be a little bit different because we're going to do about 14 miles today, 15 miles or so, I think. Where all of yesterday we spent on the west side of the island. Today we're going to finish up a little bit of the west side and then head across the north. And then most of the day is going to be on the east side of the island. And from what I remember, the views from the east side of the island are not as spectacular, if you want to call that, as the west side, but nonetheless, we got some interesting sights coming up today. We're going to end up passing a lighthouse on the north part of the island. It's privately owned. It's up on a cliff, and hopefully my camera can get close enough to capture that. It's kind of a nice view, and there's quite an expansive beach on the north end also. That's about 6.5 miles away, so that might be a good place for us to stop for lunch and get some snacks, take the packs off, and relax a little bit. And then we're going to continue south on the east side of the island, and our destination tonight will be Duck Lake. Never been to that one before, but we'll find out what that's like tonight. So for now, I'm going to get back to breakfast here, and I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Alright, so it's about 8:40, 8:45 in the morning right now on day 2, and we just left the campsite. 8:40 departure time for us is actually fairly early. We don't normally sneak out of camp until 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. But yeah, we're on the trail already, so we got about 6.5 miles or so, I think, until we reach the beach at the north end where the lighthouse is. And I think we got a few more cliff views up here on the west along the way, but we'll stop and take a look at those when we get there. For now, we're just going to start walking. Now we're at the west overlook, and kind of a nice view from up here. It really opens up. Small island out there. I don't know if it shows up in the video, but right there's a little boat. Another island over there. And then if you look over this way, you can see the cliffs down here. It's really starting to get warm and humid, so we've been inland a bit from the cliff edges over here, so there's been virtually no breeze, so standing out here is kind of a nice view, and it's kind of cooling. So we're still on the West Rim Trail here, but we just came across this little opening here. You can see that sheer rock cliff right there. It's easily a couple hundred feet. I don't know if it really looks like that on video, but kind of a nice view. Got a little bit of a breeze here, kind of helped cool us down. I should have saved the video for this because we didn't go very far. And we got this nice view here. Check that out. So this is North Light Creek, and there's a nice sandy beach right back over here. You can probably see it over there. I think we're going to take a break here somewhere, walk over, find our way down to the beach, get some more water, and maybe take the packs off for a little bit and relax, cool off a little bit before we move on, because I think we still have about 7.5 or 8 miles to go yet. Alright, so we just crossed the bridge there for North Light Creek, and we've got this North Light Beach. There's a little boardwalk here, leads us out by the water and the beach. I don't know what we're going to find once we get here. Oh yeah, I'm sure we can find a spot to sit and relax over here. There's a little bit of shade. Top off the water. Good spot to grab some lunch or something to eat. This is just what, a 1/10 or 2/10 of a mile past the beach. We just stopped for lunch and just started a bit ago and came across this view. So this area here, this overlook is called Northeast Point. And what a view we have up here. Some kind of noisy birds down there. Look at this. What a view of the shoreline from up here at the Northeast Point. Yeah. Yeah, the beach where we just ate lunch and came from is right over there. Nice. Nice breeze here too. And you don't want to venture too close to the edge because a lot of this stuff is kind of unstable. And it's just a straight drop down, probably to a rocky demise. But it is beautiful. We are somewhere between the 15 and 16 mile marker, not for the day, just on the island. I think we've got somewhere around 2.5 to 3 miles left for the day. I really haven't done any video stuff here for the last multiple miles because this is essentially what we've been walking on, just a big wide dirt path. And if you can see my face and around my hat, we're just getting swarmed by bugs. It's warm, it's kind of humid, and it's kind of draining. So there's not really much to see or much to talk about. And I haven't really felt like stopping to record anything because as soon as we stop walking, the bugs that are swarming us get even worse. So we're about ready to be done. But like I said, we got another 2.5 miles or so to go. And we're anxious for this day to be done and get to our campsite and then hopefully make it down to the beach and cool off. That's it for now. Probably next time I talk to you, we'll be at camp. So talk to you later. All right. I take back what I said in the last clip here. We're not at the end at the campsite where we're staying tonight. We're at Trout Bay Overlook. We're, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile maybe from there. I have to look at the map, but this is a really nice overlook here, and we've been going at a pretty good clip all day. This is going to be a nice place to stop and take a break. And as I get closer up here, hopefully you guys can actually see the Pictured Rocks shoreline out there in the distance. If you ever get a chance to come up here to the UP in Michigan, up by Munising, definitely have to check out the Pictured Rocks boat cruise. My wife and I did it one time. It's phenomenal. You actually get to get close up to all the rock formations, see all the various colors in the rock layers, and it's a good experience. Alright, so one little tidbit of information here. The path we've been hiking on a good portion of the day and the one we're going to take when we get out of here and head down towards our campsite was a carriage path back in the early 1900s when there was a resort here on Grand Island, which probably explains why it's so wide and relatively flat for the most part. There's been some ups and downs, but for the most part it's been a decent grade, very gentle. Alright, so it is 4:40, and as you can tell, we've arrived at the Duck Lake campsite. This is the one we've got reserved for the night. We're kind of concerned about this one because it's a little ways from the shoreline, which means there's probably not going to be much of a breeze. And the areas that have been full of trees and away from any wind has been really buggy. So I guess we're going to find out real soon here. And here we are. Not much to see, and it actually looks like the lake is quite a way through the woods that way. And there's bugs flying around my head right now. Yeah. This may be fun tonight. We'll see. All right. We are not at Duck Lake right now, and I'll explain why. We walked into Duck Lake there, and it looks like it's probably a fairly new campsite. Either that, or it's just not used very often. And it was really buggy, and we had to walk through the woods quite a distance with no trail to the lake to get water, only to find out that there's no way we can get down to the water to get our water to filter. So what we decided to do was, I left my tarp at the campsite strung up between two trees, and we brought our backpacks and hiked 0.8 of a mile south here to Murray Bay in hopes of just filtering water and eating dinner and relaxing, hoping we can find a tree to hang our hammocks up and relax here. And then we're probably going to have to go back there tonight to sleep, and hopefully by the time we get back there the bugs will be gone. The other option we're hoping for is there's 3 campsites here at Murray Bay, one right behind me and then 2 more further down. When I made the reservations online, it said that all 3 of them were reserved for tonight. So I think what we're going to do is check them out, eat dinner here, hang out for a while, and if by 9 o'clock or 9:30 no one shows up for one of those, then I think we're just going to claim one and hope no one shows up at 9:30 or 10 tonight. Otherwise, we're going to hang out here, eat and relax, cool off, take a load off our feet, and then we're going to have to head another 0.8 of a mile back north to Duck Lake, which is rather undesirable, but we'll have to sleep there for the night, and then hike back out this tomorrow morning. So we did, like I said, 14 miles today, and then an 0.8 down here, and if we got to go back another 0.8, so that'll make it probably about a 15.5 mile day. But right now we're kind of beat, and we're just going to hang out here, have dinner, and relax here for a while. So that's the plan for right now, and I'll leave you with a view of Murray Bay, much better than what we got at Duck Lake. It's even got a fire ring down here, handful of benches, garbage cans over there. There's actual restrooms back here, a water spigot over here, several more picnic tables, and a monster grilling station, although we don't have charcoal and anything good to throw on it. So this is Murray Bay. See how long we get to stay here. Chris,
What's going on?
you a chocolate fan? I'll split it with you. You got another mug to put it in? Because I'm not going to use
I
the whole
have
thing.
a mug, but if you want to fire it up, I'm not going to turn it away.
You got a spoon too, so you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Your call.
Get me whatever you got. I'll pour it in.
Their final destination is Kingston, New York. I think it's like an hour north of the city.
And what are they going there for?
Her brother lives there.
Oh, okay. Alright, I don't know what time it is exactly, but it's probably about, I don't know, I'm guessing 9:15, 9:30 or so. Maybe even a little bit later than that. But we just finished dinner and dessert a little bit ago, probably about half hour ago. And as luck would have it, while Ken and I were down here earlier trying to cool off and just relax a bit here, we came across a guy who's got a tent site 2 spots down here. We got talking with him and explained our plight here, and he said, hey, I've got a campsite, why don't you guys come and put your hammocks up at my site. I got plenty of trees and you can hang out at my site tonight. So that's what we did. We actually went down there, put our hammocks up, and we ended up sharing dinner with the guy and dessert and a lot of conversation and stories. So this is going to be a good evening, and should get a good night's rest. And this is probably the last time I'm going to check in for the evening because it's probably getting dark a little bit here. So I'm going to check out for now, and we'll talk to you guys in the morning sometime. Alright, so it's about 9:30 right now, and I'm pretty much done packing up my gear. I've got a couple like straight items to put in my pack. Ken's finishing up putting his tarp and his hammock away. And Chris, he's got his tent and stuff here, but he's off with his mountain bike taking a couple laps around the island here before he packs up and leaves for the day too. It rained a little bit overnight, not too bad, maybe 10 minutes of sprinkles. That was about it. There's a nice breeze blowing through here, so it kind of kept the bugs at bay also. And right now, as you can tell, there's a breeze blowing too, so it's nice and cool. Sun is shining right now and the sky is blue, but we understand from looking at the weather forecast that there's a chance of rain later this afternoon. So hopefully we get to wherever we're going before the rain starts. As for where we're going, that one's kind of still up in the air. We're planning on heading to the Pictured Rocks Ranger Station, looking at a map, finding what will be good for us to drive over to a parking area and then hike out somewhere, check out some sites, spend the night, and then take a short hike back tomorrow so we can head home. So that's it for now. While Ken's finishing up, I'm going to grab a couple more bites of this, and then we're going to hit the trail and head back to the mainland and figure out where we're going next. So we'll talk to you later. Alright, so we are just heading out. This is Murray Bay, Wednesday morning. Nice and sunny, blue sky. We'll see how long the nice weather lasts. Forecasting rain later today. But for right now, it looks really nice. So this little cabin right here is referred to as the Stone Quarry Cabin, and it was built somewhere in the 1860s, and it's one of the oldest standing buildings still on Lake Superior shoreline, and it was actually restored in 2000, and now it's just kind of sitting here as a point of interest on Grand Island. What time is it? 10:30? Yeah. 10:30. Half an hour to wait. So it's about 10:30 right now, and we just did about 2.4 miles or so from the campsite where we were at to here. So just about an hour's worth of hiking, not a bad pace. And the boat from the mainland comes over to the island at the top of every hour, so we've got about 30 minutes to wait until it gets over here to pick us up and then take us back. So for now, we're going to enjoy the breeze and the sunshine and the views out here and have some snacks and relax for a little bit.
Trails, buddy, guys. Thanks. Enjoy your time away from home.
Are you heading back? At Hurricane River?
So it's a little
okay, cool. 17 sites at Hurricane River.
All right, thank you very much.
And it's a really nice campground. And And if I would go straight there, get your campsite, and then go and do these things. And so you could park at your campsite, like you could reserve your campsite, leave your car there, and then hike out to the light station and back. But then you can also leave because you put like a...
Alright, so we are on our way to grab something to eat real quick here and then head out. We just came from the Pictured Rocks Visitor Center, where we talked to one of the employees in there, and we got some really good information. So what she told us to do is to head over to a place. It's probably about a 45-minute drive from here, but it's called Hurricane River, and there's a campsite there with 17 sites, self-registration, and she said if we make it over there relatively soon, we should have no problem getting a site there. And then from there, there's like a 1.5-mile hike out to a lighthouse there. If we're in the mood, we can pay $3 and get a tour of the lighthouse. And then it's a 1.5-mile walk back to the campsite, and we can set our stuff up there, put our tag on the site, and then we can leave and don't have to worry about anyone taking it. And then if the rain hits today, which apparently they're calling for after 2 or 3 o'clock, then we can see how it goes tomorrow morning. It's just a couple-mile drive down a little further east from Hurricane River, and then there's some the sand dunes and Sable Falls, and that's a quick like couple-hour detour. So we've got some activities we can hopefully get in here before we head home tomorrow, and it was a productive stop to talk to the rangers, which I guess kind of makes sense because that's what they do all day. So that's what we're doing now. Like I said, we're getting some food, then we're gonna head out there and check the sites out. Alright, so we arrived here at Hurricane River Campground, and we picked out our site. We drove around, found what we figured was the best one to put hammocks on, because it's a regular campsite, so the trees are kind of dispersed all around the perimeter, so got to be a little more strategic. But got the registration form, we're going to fill it out, drop it in the box, and then I think we're going to hit the trail and go explore the lighthouse. So right now we're out heading for the AuSable Lighthouse. Check that out, but there's a little access path down to the beach here. It said something about shipwrecks, so we're going to walk down to that point down there and see if we can see anything out in the water from that point. Alright, it might be kind of hard to see in the picture because there's really nothing sticking up above the water line, but you can see that dark area right there. That is the remnants of one of the ships out here that sank. And you can tell how close to shore it is. It seems like it actually goes on for quite a ways here because it goes all the way down there. We made the 1.5-mile hike, and we've arrived at the AuSable Lighthouse here on the north shore of the UP on Lake Superior. I don't know what this building is here, but we'll go in and check it out. Doors open, and I'm sure there's probably some kind of displays or some informational plaques or something in there. So I guess what this building was the fog signal building, and when it was first, the lighthouse was first constructed here, one of the first major improvements they did was to add steam-powered whistles instead of a hand crank. And so these were tanks for the boilers. They had water piped in, and then the steam was used to power the foghorns. So this is the outside of the fog signal building, and then that white building down there apparently was where the rescue boats would take off from and go out onto the lake to do whatever rescues they had to do. And apparently it's being renovated right now or fixed up. And then out in the distance, I don't know if it's going to show up in the video, but out there in the distance you can see some sand dunes along the shore of Lake Superior, which is all still part of the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. And then if we spin around here, get a full view of the property, we get another nice view of the lighthouse. And what you don't see are the black flies or the horse flies or whatever flies are out here. They are incessant. And of course bug spray doesn't work on them. Alright, so it's about 3:25 right now, and we are on the way back to the campsite from the AuSable Lighthouse. We went out there. It's been a 1.5 mile hike on this gravel road. You can probably see it behind me. Easy to get to, but there are a lot of flies out here, and DEET doesn't seem to work on them. So if you're ever up in this area and this sounds like something you want to do, and especially if you're here in the summer with the heat and humidity, just be warned. They swarm and they like to bite. It was an interesting tour. Unfortunately, it was so interesting I didn't take any video from the top of the lighthouse. So maybe I'll just throw in some still shots or something. But it was well worth it. The tour was about 45 minutes or an hour. And it only cost $3 a person for the tour, which I thought was well worth it. It was really informative. Got to see the way the lighthouse keepers lived, and I don't envy them at all because it was a rough life. A lot of hard work. So anyways, that's what we're doing right now. We're hiking back, and catch up with you a little bit later. And one of the things I was going to mention a second ago was while we were standing up on top, what do we do? 98 steps up? 89? Something like that. 76 feet up there. We're standing on the platform outside, and the lady's explaining all kinds of things about the lighthouse, and we saw a freighter probably several miles out there. Some dark clouds, and there's forecasts here for some heavy winds, lightning, and maybe even hail. And so she made the comment, if you guys see any lightning, let me know because we have to clear the tower. And she barely got the words out of her mouth. We heard thunder, and then we saw a fork of lightning come down almost above like where the freighter was. So we all had to get out of the tower right away, come down, and now we're hiking back, and we're hoping we miss the storms here. I think we probably will. Looks on the radar like they're further out, but we'll see. I don't even know if you can see it because I can barely see it here in person, but right on the distance, a little bit back from that point over there, is the lighthouse where we were just at, the AuSable Lighthouse. Colors in the water here in Lake Superior look like Caribbean water with the turquoises and the blue. So this area of the sand dunes here along the shore, specifically this area right here, is referred to as the log slide. Back when this area of the Upper Peninsula was being logged for its white pine and cedar, they would haul the logs over to this area by horse, and then up at the top here, over here, they'd push them down. They'd roll down the hill to the water where they were picked up and then transported from there. From the bottom, down by the water, all the way up here to the top is 500 feet, but the sign said if you took a vertical drop it'd be 300 feet, so it's a long ways. You can see the little girl right here coming up, and she's got some siblings down there. They look very small. And then if you can see over here, there's actually another couple standing out there in yellow shirts. Makes you feel small up here.
I'm gonna speak up so you can hear in this video. We just got back from Grand Marais and doing some day hikes down by the lighthouse. We just got back to Hurricane River here at the campsite where we're staying, and for the 88 degrees and humid heat that we had today, the temperature has dropped and the storm front has moved in, and Lake Superior looks a little angry right now. Check this out. The temperature must have dropped almost 25, 30 degrees maybe. And it is really cooled off. It's breezy, and the sun is gone. And if you look out there, actually I just saw some lightning. You can see all the rain coming down out there. Oh, this is the river.
That's the river coming up.
Oh yeah, there's some lightning back there. This is much better than the hot, humid day we had today and getting bit up by all the flies. It actually feels really good. All right, rain is really starting to come down now, so we're leaving the beach, heading back to the campsite.
Good morning. As you can probably tell, it is really windy here at the Hurricane River Campground, and it was windy like this almost all night. As a matter of fact, it got so windy I ended up having to get up and reposition one of the tie-out corners here because it had basically collapsed on me. And it's actually really cool compared to yesterday. Yesterday was a high of like 88 degrees. I think Ken said today the high is only supposed to be like 60 or 63, something like that. So I'm sure it's much cooler than that right now. With the wind, it probably feels like it's down in the 50s. But I stayed warm all night, and with the exception of the one tie-out, everything here on the tarp and the hammock stayed intact. So gonna hang out here for a little bit more and probably get some breakfast and head home. Overall, this has been a really good trip. I was telling Ken yesterday, if I had to nickname this trip, I'd probably nickname it Bugs, because we dealt with so many bugs this trip. It was unbelievable. But overall, it was a really good trip. Saw some cool stuff that we haven't seen before, and talked to some nice people, so this was a lot of fun. So if you ever get the chance to come out here to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, visit Grand Island or the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, I highly guarantee it, especially Pictured Rocks. It is just beautiful country out there, all kinds of different views, and so many different options. You can camp, you can kayak, you can take a boat tour of the Pictured Rocks area. So I'll leave some information in the comment section below, and until next time, have a good time in the great outdoors.